Okay, I'm ready to go. Before anyone says anything, I know I don't need any more stationery, and I know I recently just did a video where I reorganized my entire stationery collection and I said I was trying to reduce the amount of new stationery coming in. But things happen and somehow I have collected a couple of new stationery items and I felt like just sitting down, chilling, testing some of them out. My favorite thing to do whenever I get new stationery is just to test all of them out and swatch everything, so that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I also realized I haven't done a stationery haul in a while. I think the last one might have actually been my Korea stationery haul, which feels like ages ago. So today we are going to be talking about stationery, fangirling about stationery. It'll just be a safe place for stationery lovers as usual. Let's get started here. First up, we have some new goodies from Archer and Olive. They actually did sponsor this video and sent me some of their new things that they wanted me to try out. So thank you to Archer and Olive. I always love their stuff, you guys know this. But I was particularly excited for these because I've been seeing so many posts on Instagram about them and they looked like something that I would love. So these are the Archer and Olive acrylograph paint markers. Now, normally I'm not a huge paint marker person unless I'm writing on a really unique surface. Like something shiny, or let's say I'm writing on wood or plastic or whatever, because that calls for the paint markers. Also, I find that paint markers, the colors tend to be way too bright or saturated. There's not too many color options, and that's why I don't really use them that often in my bullet journal, also because, you know, sometimes I don't really need a paint marker. Based on the posts, it looks like they were kind of made with journaling in mind. There are some thinner tipped ones as well as some thicker tipped ones, and the colors are so pretty. So there are 3 color collections. There's the Jewel collection, the Tropical collection, and the Primary collection. And then in each collection, there's 2 different thicknesses, the 3mm and then the 0.7mm. Okay, so this is the Jewel collection. I'm gonna show insert shots, but first of all, look at this. This is a whole collection. Like when you say collection, this is what it looks like. Oh, I love these colors a lot. There's little instructions for use here. You're supposed to shake a lot with the pen cap on, and then you're supposed to press the pen tip against the blending palette until the ink flows. And then after you use it, you're supposed to clean, like gently wipe off the tip to clean it and store it afterwards. This is a thinner tip, but the wider ones are better for covering larger surfaces. These are better for details. It's cool that the actual packaging is functional. So this side of the box that it comes in is the blending palette. You'll see it says blending palette here. So you can actually use it to test out the pens before you put it to use. I'm pressing down, waiting for the ink to come out. I'm gonna put insert shots of me swatching the whole collection in case you guys are curious, you guys can see. So hopefully this will help you guys. Oh, okay, the paint is coming out. You can actually layer and blend the colors like actual paint, which is really cool. So if you did want to do that, you could use the blending palette to mix colors with the tip and then just wipe it off after you're done. This Jewel collection, I think, is my favorite. I want to try out some of the thicker tipped one, which is the 3mm. These are good for covering larger surfaces. Shake it up a lot. Takes a while for the paint to come out for on the first use, but that's kind of normal with paint markers. You'll see it kind of running down the tip. Oh, wow. Okay, that looks so great. You guys see this? This darker purple bluish shade is underneath the yellow. I put like the yellow paint marker on top, and the yellow was completely opaque on top of that purple, which is crazy because yellow is a lighter color than purple. So these layer super, super well. that was the tropical collection and the jewel collection, and then there's the primary collection, which just has your basic saturated bright colors. This is good for like if you just want those standard colors. I think my personal favorite collection would have to be the jewel collection. I think it comes with a nice variety of neutral colors, bright colors, and I feel like you'd be able to come up with a lot. Something that I noticed is that all of these collections come with a white marker, which is really, really helpful. Speaking of which, perfect chance for us to test out the Archer and Olive notepads. So these guys, as you can see, they come in a box. They are actually not notebooks, they're notepads. And the difference being, as you can see here, it's just an open-faced notepad that you can rip out. The edges here are perforated, so you can actually just rip out a sheet like so, and they're dotted just like the notebooks. When I first heard about these, I thought it was genius, because if you've watched any of my videos in the past, then you will know that I have ripped out pages in my bullet journal several times to cover mistakes. I have tried gluing pages in for when I want to use like black paper or craft paper in my bullet journal. So the fact that these just like rip out and they're the perfect size, these are A5 by the way, so they'll fit right into an A5 journal like this. You can also rip it up if you're doing like that scrapbook thing. So I just think that's genius, and I think it does come in all the colors. So I have the white one here. This one would be good for covering up mistakes, like let's say you mess up an entire page on the right, you can literally just rip out a paper from the notepad and then stick it right over top. And then of course the craft paper as well as black. So let's test the acrylograph markers on top of it, because if they work well over those, then I think they will work well over a lot of different types of papers. Let's use the white. That'll be a good one to test out whether white goes on top of the craft paper. We'll just test out a bunch actually. Shake all of them at once. Shake, 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 shake it. Okay, so I'm testing out the white first. Oh my gosh. Whoa, that works so well. I used the light blue. I'm gonna try out some more colors. First impressions, these are so opaque. It really goes over top of the craft paper. It's really not like streaky or scratchy at all, which I've found is the case with paint markers in the past. I especially really love the thinner tip, this 0.7 millimeter. I've never seen a thin tip paint marker work this well. I have thin tipped paint markers from before, but they're always not as opaque because of the thinner tip. Most of the better paint markers that I've used in the past were just really opaque simply because of the sheer size of the tip. Like the thicker ones tend to work well, but these thin tipped ones almost work like a regular pen. It just has super opaque ink. So I think these would be really great for beginners. If you don't like the look of like streakiness with regular markers, these might be your type of marker, because you could fill in a surface and you won't see the strokes, since it is like acrylic paint essentially. On this craft paper, the little notepad thing that I used, it didn't bleed to the other side. You can see the other side is completely fine, which is so good. Also, in terms of notepads, I'm sure you guys, oh God. As I was saying, in terms of notepads, I'm sure you guys are gonna be seeing these in a lot of future videos, because you guys know I love to rip out craft paper and stick it into my bullet journal. So this is going to be very, very handy to have on my desk. Dang, okay. I am very impressed. I know that this was sponsored by Archer and Olive, but I actually really enjoy working with Archer and Olive. They're super chill and they let me kind of say my honest opinion, so I wouldn't tell you guys that I loved it if I didn't. And they are a small woman-owned business, which I always love to support. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to check out any Archer and Olive products, but their stuff is always super good quality, and I've been using their notebooks for a while now. You guys know that. I also think I do have a coupon code for you guys to use. So check it out, acrylograph markers. AmandaRachLee approved. So next up I have the Faber-Castell Stampers Big Brush Kit. So these are interesting. Apparently these are actually meant to brush on to your stamps, which I think is super cool. The ink inside of these are waterproof, permanent, light fast, odorless, and India ink. So it's kind of like, you know how normally you would use a stamping block and put it into like an ink pad. But these, you can just color right on top of the stamping block and then stamp it, which I think is pretty cool because sometimes you don't want everything on the stamp. Whereas if you were to use an ink pad, obviously you have to press down and you kind of are forced to use all of the stamp. But if you wanted to just color parts of the stamp, you could do so with these guys. So these are pretty chunky. These are big boys. Like, look at how wide these are in comparison to the Archer and Olive acrylograph pens. They are definitely thick with 2 C's. Let me go get some stamps so we can test some of these out. I have some stamps that I got from Japan. This one's a Totoro stamp. And then I also have my like mini calendar days of the month stamps. I've used these before when I do my habit trackers in my bullet journal. And I think these pens would be the most useful for these calendar ones because these calendar stamps have all 31 days on each mini calendar, but sometimes obviously months only have 30 days and whatnot, so you could just color in what months or days you want. So let's test out. I really like this turquoise color here. I've never used anything like this, so I'm very curious. I guess I'll color the stamp. Is this how I'm supposed to do it? Again, first impressions. So if I'm doing it wrong, excuse me. I haven't done any looking into the information behind it, just kind of following my gut instinct. Oh, okay, yeah, it worked pretty well. You kind of have to make sure you get everything when you color it though. Okay, yeah, you know what? I like it, I like it. Let's try one of these days of the week ones with the blue maybe. So this calendar stamp has 31 days and I'm going to attempt to stamp it so that it only shows 30 days. That worked pretty well. Yeah, I mean, you can also just use it as a regular marker, but I probably wouldn't waste India ink as a regular marker. In case you're wondering, I am using it on the Archer and Olive notepad, which is just the 160 GSM paper. It doesn't bleed through, but obviously that's more telling of the paper than the markers. I'm not sure whether these would bleed through on a thinner paper. This is an old Leuchtturm 1917 notebook. Let's see. Then I'm gonna try it with the stamp as it's meant to be used. It just shows up like regular stamping ink. It didn't bleed through, but it ghosted a little. Again, that's more so the paper. Wow, okay, I really like these. I think these are cool. I actually don't have too many stamping ink pads. I only have like basic black. So now I have a ton of different colors, which means I can experiment with my stamps a lot. I have been getting into stamps a lot more recently. You guys know I have my like letter stamps. I have my calendar ones obviously, and I have a few other ones. I think using these with the letter alphabet stamps would be super cool because you could use different colors or come up with different color combinations for each individual letter and it would look really awesome. And you know, if you were using ink pads before, you would have had to have ink pads for all different colors, but now they're just in marker form. So everyone is impressing me so far. Amanda approved. Is this gonna be a new thing? We still have lots more to go, so buckle up. This is something different for me. This is from Glass Dip Pen. I've seen these before on YouTube and I've always been curious about how it works. These are, as the name suggests, glass dip pens. And this one in particular looks so magical. I feel like I'm a wizard in like a potions class. And I almost like don't want to write with this. It feels wrong to write with it. I don't know if you can see, the tip has these grooves that sort of funnel downwards in a twisty shape, and you're literally just supposed to dip it into ink and then write. I've seen a lot of people draw with these and stuff, and inside this little pack here, there actually is ink. So I'm gonna use some of their ink. It actually looks like there's like some gold shimmery-ness in it, so that looks pretty cool. I want to use the blue one. By the way, the inside of the pen is super cool. It has this like hollow rainbow center core to it, so it does make it look extra mystical and magical. The box kit comes with a tiny beaker for you to put some ink in, and then also a little glass pen stand. where you can rest your pen when you're not using it. Okay, let's try this out. I'm so, oh my gosh, it got all over my hands. It stains your fingers, I can tell you that, but you know what? It's fine. I'm going to, I guess you literally just dip it in. I'm not sure how far you dip it in, but whoa. Okay, cool. And then I'm just gonna write. This feels weird. I can't tell whether this is because I'm jittery from drinking coffee, but when you write, the lines don't look that smooth. It almost looks jittery, like I have hand tremors or something. But I don't think it's me. I think the ink is running down kind of unevenly, so it's creating larger pools of ink, which gives it that like uneven effect. So, okay, it's getting better actually. Maybe it's like the first initial dip, you kind of need to run it a little bit to get it going. I'm kind of impressed at how far the single dip of ink goes. Like, I've been writing for quite a while and I haven't had to dip back in yet. Based on the outside of the ink bottles, there was this like gold glitter at the bottom pooling down. So I thought it would give it kind of like a shimmery effect, but you can't really tell once it's on, only when you look super close. So it's just kind of regular ink. I wouldn't say it's comparable to like the smoothness of a fountain pen, but I do really enjoy the novelty and I feel very fancy with it. It is a little hard. I think it's hard to control though. Like now that I've re-dipped back in, it's pooling again. It would be hard to get like even writing, I think, with this. But really cool idea and definitely a nice way to flex. Like imagine just whipping this out in your lecture to take notes. Obviously this isn't a must-have, like it's definitely not a necessity in someone's stationery collection, but it's just cool to play around with. And if you guys want, maybe we'll do a video where I try to do an entire spread or try to do calligraphy using it. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Maybe I'll save this for when I get accepted into Hogwarts or something. All right, so next up, I got some new jelly rolls from Sakura of America. I've used jelly rolls before, but these are actually some of the newer colors, which I really like, especially these ones in particular, the gray set. You guys know I'm a sucker for neutrals, and my issue with the jelly rolls before is that they're always in fluorescent colors, so it was kind of hard for me to make use of them, even though I did really like the formula. I use the white jelly roll all the time, especially when I'm writing over black. But these colors are so nice. I do like this set too as well. This is the Jelly Roll Moonlight 06, and there's just some nice creamy summery colors. Wow, okay, these are super smooth. I honestly feel like they might have improved the formula even more. Jelly rolls are just some of the best gel pens on the market in my opinion. So this is the 06 thickness. Usually I use the 10 or the 8 thickness. So these are a lot thinner, which is nice because you can get some details. The gray set is looking pretty nice. I'm assuming it's gonna turn out the same. Oh yeah. Those are really thin. You could almost use these as fine liners as well. I'm impressed. Wow, everyone is killing it in this video. First impressions. Amanda approved. Another version of gel pens that I got from Sakura of America are these souffle jelly roll pens. These are apparently supposed to be 3D, so kind of like puffy paint, if you guys remember what puffy paint was like. And these are in like really cute sort of pastel colors. So I'm excited for these actually. The streak might have been broken. I'm not sure how I feel about these guys. It comes out a little watery, not super opaque, unless you write really slow. But I do see like that 3D effect. It kind of looks glossy, almost like, you know when you get a really fancy business card from someone and it has the raised like glossy lettering? It's almost like that. That's kind of the best thing I can compare it to. You can definitely tell when you hit it in the light, it looks glossier, especially compared to the regular Moonlight gel pens. So these are pretty cool. Oh, okay, this color's a lot better. So maybe it varies from color to color. I think it's a cool idea, like the 3D paint thing. You definitely need to wait a while for it to dry. I just ran my fingers over it and it smudged a little bit, but pretty cool. I'll have to play around with these guys a little bit more before giving it the thumbs up, but so far, so good. Finally, from Sakura of America, I actually got this Pigma Sensei set of fine liners. You guys know I've used the Sakura of America Pigma Micron pens for ages now. It's literally what I use in every single video. But fun fact, these fine liners were actually some of the first fine liners I got back in the day when I was a kid starting to draw anime. I just remember this was my first set and I was so excited. I used them with everything. It kind of brings me back and I wanted to try them out again to see if they were just as good as I remember when I was a kid. And it comes with 8 different things inside. So there's a 0.3, 0.4, 0.6, 1 thickness, which is really thick. And then there's actually 3 chisel tips, which is interesting. So there's a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, and 3 millimeter. And it also comes with a mechanical pencil. So this little set is kind of packed with lots of stuff. Okay. I feel like I'm in a stage of denial right now. I'm like, I don't want to believe that this is really happening. I'm gonna say it, I'm not that impressed right now. I think when I was a kid, these were just like the first fancier fine liners that I used, so anything would have seemed good to me. But they aren't as black or as smooth as the Pigma Microns. I definitely prefer the Sakura Pigma Microns. I feel like these ones are a little bit scratchier, if that makes sense, and the ink is definitely like a dark gray, not a black. So I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this thicker one, the thickest one in the set, because I always cover large spaces with black, and having this thick marker will definitely be useful. Opposite to brush calligraphy where there's like thickness changes in the lines, this would be really nice for that because you could just get an even sort of thickness throughout. But the thinner ones, not so impressed. So we're almost at the end here, guys. Finally, from Sakura of America, I got this Quickie glue pen. I was very intrigued by this. So this is a pinpoint roller glue pen, and it comes in removable and permanent, I think. It says, for a permanent bond, use when glue is wet. For a temporary bond, use when glue is dry. That's pretty cool. So this is what it looks like. It's literally glue, but in pen form, which I think is really cool. Especially if you just want to like have glue in your pencil case, you could just throw this guy when you're traveling and have it on hand. Okay, so it comes out light blue like the packaging suggests. So if you wanted it to be permanent, that's when you would stick it on. And now it's drying to like a white/clear color. So if you wanted it to be temporary, that's when you'd stick it on. But I want to test, I'm gonna maybe rip a little corner of paper. You know what this would have been really helpful for is when you were younger and you had to use glitter for arts and crafts projects, but glitter got everywhere. I feel like you could create some cool designs with glitter using these because you could get really detailed with where you wanted the glue. So that's pretty cool. I've stuck a little piece of paper on here. Yeah, okay, wow. That is attached. I'm very impressed that this little glue pen can stick something on so well. I will definitely have this in my pencil case as a just in case type of thing, especially when I'm traveling. So Quickie glue, pinpoint roller Quickie glue. Amanda approved. I don't think this is the Amanda approved thing is gonna stick around, guys, just for this video. Okay, finally I have some stickers. These are just kind of random things. I feel like I never talk about stickers that much on my channel, which is weird because I actually love stickers and I feel like I'm a sticker collector. And this is actually a local Toronto sticker shop. I know that the girl who creates these stickers is from right here in Toronto, which is really awesome. Love, again, supporting small businesses, especially local ones in Toronto. So it's really cute. She has this like kind of character that she dresses up in different outfits. So this set has a lot of cute like bear ones. There's ones that are like winter cozy ones, and then some mail time ones. Yeah, there's a lot of different options here, and I'm sure she has a lot of options on her website. So if you're a sticker person for your planners, these would be really cute to use. I feel like they're kind of the perfect size for sticking in like daily boxes or calendars and stuff like that. And then finally, we have some stickers from Kiki K. This is the sticker lover book, and I love a sticker book. I love the idea of a sticker book. It takes me back to my childhood when I would collect stickers in my sticker book, and I just love it. So this one is kind of like the adult classy version of that, and it comes with a bunch of different cute stickers that you can use. There's even ones that have spaces for labels, so if you wanted to use them on gifts, that would be cool. And there's also some gift tags too that you can like punch out. So this is a really handy little book, and I personally love making gifts look pretty. I think I've mentioned this in the past on my videos, but I consider myself a master of gift wrapping. Something about like making a gift presentable and then seeing people's look on their face when they see the gift is my favorite thing ever. So this is going to be my secret little weapon whenever I'm giving gifts this year. All right, friends, so that's it for today's stationery haul. That's it, she says, as there's stationery sprawled out all over the floor in front of her. But I really enjoyed testing out stationery in this like chill manner, kind of sitting on the floor. I feel like in the past, my stationery hauls, I would be like sitting at a desk and very like prim and proper, and this is kind of how I would normally actually test out stationery in my real life, just kind of being chaotic about it. So in the spirit of me being a chaotic stationery lover, I feel like this is very on brand. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me test out some of these new stationery items and kind of my first impression of them. I don't normally do like full-on reviews, but if I do end up liking anything in particular, you'll probably end up seeing it in a plan with me video or some future video, or I'll be sure to mention it on Instagram or something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna clean this all up now. Thank you for fangirling about stationery with me. Again, safe place, so no judgment on the amount of stationery, okay? But I will talk to you guys in the next video. Keep doodling. Bye.